When you go on the first date with a guy, what is the first thing you notice about him that you're attracted to? And what are the deal breakers for you on a first date that would definitely eliminate his opportunity to go on a second date with you? So that's the first question. And I guess we'll start with Tara.
Oh, no. I'm like the most nervous too.
Yeah, I saw that. So I was like, let me ask her first.
Perfect. Let me get it over with. I think superficially, like eyes, maybe, and then after that, and their smile. That's superficial. And then more deep is like if we can communicate well. And that's just really if they can communicate with me. So that's unique to me. And then and that's pretty much it. And chemistry. I feel like that, like, if you have chemistry or not, I don't know. It's like good vibes, just positive vibes that complement your personality. And not into yourself.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty good at gauging if you're very into yourself, which is a turn off.
Okay, so you said eyes, and that's the first thing you notice. Okay, and then you said what was your what was your deal breakers? What was your deal breakers again? I know you said somebody that's into himself.
Yeah, if you're too arrogant.
Too arrogant.
I just don't. That's like my top thing. Yeah.
Too arrogant. Anything else besides arrogance?
Besides arrogance, not really. Just I think if you're arrogant, yeah, I don't have many deal breakers, and I hope you show up late because I'll probably be late too. The first, a little bit late.
Okay, all right. So okay, so for you, it's just don't be arrogant, and hopefully you have some good eyes, and but just don't be arrogant, and everything else is open.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything physically that's a deal breaker for you? Whatever it's the way he dresses, the way he looks, anything that may come up with particular
No.
hygiene or something. I'm just.
Oh yeah, like you're just normal hygiene, like normal and good to good. I think that's the scale I'd use. Yeah, but maybe you forgot to wear deodorant that day, so you just remember the next time. I give a lot of chances, so I think first impressions aren't everything that you can gauge a person's like whole entire. Like you can't really get to know them fully, so I try to maybe give the second, and then I'll know usually if I like you or not.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So that's Tarah right there. What about you, Anna? What about you?
I think the first thing I notice is how they dress.
Okay. All right.
Specifically their shoes, shoe game gotta be strong. Just kidding. No, and then their smile as well. Like if they're like a genuinely happy person, that's awesome. And if they're friendly, that little awkwardness when they come to the door and get you and they're like, hi.
Yeah.
That's the best, like just to make them feel awkward. But I think like something, I won't go on a second date with someone who doesn't come to the door to get me. Like I think that's a very gentleman thing to do, is to not wait outside for a girl to come to the car. Because I feel like if a girl was gonna walk out to the car, it's like saying, oh, she's just like another girl, like we're just gonna hang out. But like it actually shows that they have initiative and they want to go with you because they're respectful enough to come to the door and meet whoever you're living with and like say, oh, here's the time, she'll be home, and just know that she's safe. And then yeah.
Is that common? I mean, is that common nowadays for guys who come out to the door and on the first date when they pick you up? I'm asking all the girls, like, is that something that I don't think that's, I don't see that guys doing that nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like they just pull up, hey, I'm outside, let's go.
Yeah. Literally. No, most of the guys who I've gone on dates with, I text and I'm like, can you come to the door?
Oh, you would ask them to come to the door?
Yeah, because they'll like text me, they're like, hey, I'm here. And I'm like, can you come to the door? Like,
Oh, okay.
I really appreciate that.
Well, have you ever texted to come to the door and the guy was like, "No, I'm gonna stay inside the car." Has that ever happened?
Yeah.
And what happened? And what happened?
I say, okay, well then I'm just gonna, bring my parents out to meet you at the car. And then
Oh,
they
wow.
get scared and then they come to the door.
Oh, okay. You just all right. All right. So, any other deal breakers like once you guys are on the date and you guys at the date now, like any deal breakers for you on the date?
I don't think so. I think it would I'd have to be in the moment to know.
Yeah. Okay. So in the moment, what's anything? Is it anything like that stands out for you, looking from a past experience, where you were on a date and then they did something and then it was like, nope, this guy is not getting a second date.
When they're on their phone.
Oh, on their phone. Okay.
Yeah. I really don't appreciate that because I feel you ask someone on a date and you want their attention.
Mhm.
So if you're gonna waste that time that you asked them to be with you, then why am I here?
Yeah. What's the point of going on a date and then you're not on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. So for you, just have us be smiling, be happy. Shoe game. Does the shoe game have to be right? Be honest.
Oh yeah. Yes. Nah, that's
Okay.
just a plus. Like if they have shoes and their shoe game is strong, like
What if the shoe game is weak? Like, explain to me what strong shoe game is and what shoe game that you're not gonna give them a chance.
I mean, I'll give everyone a chance, but they gotta just let me be like, hey, let's go, get some shoes. I love my shoes, which is a really big problem, but yeah.
If a guy came out with flip flops.
Oh, that'd be fine.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You have to have pretty toes.
Period.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So shoe game, as long as shoe game, but if shoe game is kind of weak, then you work on it. You help him out.
It's something we can work on together.
We can work on together. All right. That makes sense. All right. That's cool. All right. All right. What about you, Nunia? What is something that you noticed about a guy on the first date, and what are your deal breakers?
Something that I notice about a guy on a first date is, this sounds really bad, but beard. I can speak for every woman out there. We love beards. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't like the baby face?
I already have a baby face, so I don't this is just me personally.
Yeah. Okay.
But either that, and first date, when we're on the date, the main thing that I really look for is if they're goofy and they could actually keep a conversation. They have to keep a conversation. If not, it's done. Not even a second chance. And then a deal breaker for me is that they, if they can't keep a conversation, and I would say the biggest deal breaker for me would be, it sounds bad, but if you're taking me out on a first date and you're not going to pay for the meal, that's a deal breaker. Yeah. It's like how Anna said, it's, you initiative, right? It's, of course, us women can actually pay for our own stuff, but if you actually are reaching out to take someone out, take them out, pay for it. Go to my door and take me home.
All right. Is that universal for all you ladies, that the guy has to pay for the first date? He has to?
No.
I mean, if he asked you.
No, be honest. Like if a guy was like, okay, we're gonna go on a date, but just let you know you have to pay for it. He told you that. Like, would you go on a date with him, knowing that he told you in the beginning that he's not gonna pay?
Oh, if he asked, then I'd go halves.
No, he doesn't want to go half. He's just like, you need to pay for the first date.
No, you asked me.
Yeah.
No. What about you, Anna?
I would be offended. I'd be like, really? Like, you want me to pay for it and you're gonna ask me out right now?
Okay.
Any guy can do that.
All right, cool. All right, so you guys all want the guy to pay for the first date, right? That's cool.
Want,
no. That's
it's expected.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong with it. But just that's normal etiquette now, right? You pay for the woman's first date. But let me ask you guys: does it matter where he takes you to eat? Does it matter?
No.
So if he
For
takes
me
you to,
personally, no.
if he takes you like to McDonald's, it's all good on the first date.
Yeah.
No, I have dietary restrictions. I'm going to be one of those. So sorry, like this is a minority. You asked me, so if it depends. If it's like mutual plans, I'd like to pay half.
Okay.
But I'd hope that there's a vegan option, and that's just me. This is probably the first and last Tongan vegan you'll have on this podcast. Yeah.
Oh, so Tarah, for you, like if he say he took you on a date and then you ended up in a place where there's no vegan food out there, would you say something or would you just eat salad that on that restaurant?
No, because we have the chance to text, so that's nice, and then we could just text and say like, is there
an
option?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just try to meet both. Yeah, make each other happy.
Okay, cool. All right, so the first date, as long as he pays for it, and then I think the biggest thing I heard from all you guys is communication. Do you feel like a lot of guys like lack the ability to hold a conversation anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys find guys like more talkative on texting, and then when you meet them in real life, they're like crickets?
Maybe that's me. Yeah. I think I pull that on them. I'm just like at texting, and then
yeah. All right. So no, that was a question for me because a lot of guys were trying to figure out what's their best way to impress a woman on a first date. And it was just really interesting for them to hear your different perspectives. But I think one of the biggest things that you guys mentioned was just communicating. And do you guys? Let me ask you this question? Can you guys tell when a man is not being like upfront and being honest? You can just tell like he was trying to like portray a persona for the date.
Yeah.
Like how can you tell? How can you tell?
It's the way they act, the way they carry themselves. Like everyone's a little awkward on a first date, but if they're like trying super hard, you can just tell like in their behaviors and everything. They just like want it so bad that it's noticeable.
Okay. Do you guys have like a, I don't know, I mean, I'm interested to hear from you guys. Do you guys have like a vetting process when you meet men and go on a first date to test to see if this is the person I really, really want, like to test them, like through questioning or through to hear their responses? Do you guys do anything like that?
For me personally, it's more so I just watch how they treat other people around us. If we're at a restaurant, how they treat the waiter and everyone else. So but I base it all off of that.
But that's easy to front in the first date, right? You can just be super kind on the first date. You don't think that's easy for a guy just to be super friendly on the first date? No.
I mean, they do have nerves just going off, right? So yeah, that's the main thing I pay attention to. How they treat
people. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if they're kind of mean to other people, the waiter or something, that's a sign for you. Okay.
And tip and everything. Yeah.
And tip. Oh, you don't do if he doesn't tip, that's a deal breaker?
No, it's not a deal breaker. It's just it's not a deal breaker for me. It's just there's, I like to actually contribute to a lot of people, right? So if I see that tip is not a certain percentage, and you took me to this restaurant, you should have had extra to actually tip. So that's the one thing with me. It's just like, it's how, of course you take me on a date, but how do you treat everyone else around you as well? Like the servers and everyone else. So that's the main thing.
Okay. All right. So what if you didn't tip, mm-hmm. Would you ask him why, or would you just let that be something you just saw as an observation, keep it to yourself?
I'll just keep it to myself. Things might, he might have like he might have something going on and it's just not my problem or anything to ask, but it's just something I'll notice,
Okay. No, I'm just saying, what if the guy was like very frugal, or maybe the guy was like, wanted to impress you and pretty much just spent his last hour on that dinner.
Yeah, which is why I wouldn't ask. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. So what? All right. So that was. What were you doing, Tarah? Is there certain things that you do try to like to find out more about the guy so that you can that way you can kind of get insight who he really is?
No, because I'm so nervous already. It's to even have a questionnaire like available to me. Like I'm gonna go through, hit this interview like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I don't think there's no vetting. And I just hope that they come in with the same, maybe that's naive, but I hope that they come in with the same intentions. I think I feel like more people than not have good intentions. So I'm coming in like that. We both have good motivations, intentions, and and there's not much to it because it's just a first date. So if I would have wasted an hour, then at least maybe I got half off the meal. It's a coupon deal. And there's no vetting. It's just, I hope you're a good person and you treat others kindly. Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have like any like was like the worst experiences you had on a first date that totally messed up for the second date? You never went back with that guy ever again. Do you guys have any stories like that?
I'm the only one.
Oh, looks like a lot of people aren't going on dates. Okay, that was a joke. All right, cool. Yeah, that was my question. So yeah, I think for me, just listen to everybody's answers. No, one of the things I'm an advocate for is like I love what Anna said, like chivalry. Putting the extra effort in the beginning, and getting outside and walking to the door. I feel like a lot of especially in today's dating culture, people don't show that no more. Or for a lot of guys, I do hear from a lot of guys that like, oh, I'm not gonna show her that until she earns it. If that makes sense, that's something I always hear from a lot of guys. But I feel like it's important for women to see that you are putting in effort. Especially today's dating culture, especially social media, where there's always, people, let's keep most I'm not saying most people are talking to multiple people. Can we all agree? that's the culture we are today. So I feel like for a lot of guys, I will always say like it's good to kind of like separate yourself from the pack. So if all the guys are like putting in, say, 50% effort, then you should put like 100% effort, so that way they can see your efforts and show that you're really interested. And I just feel like a lot of times today, a lot of guys, because of the way we grow up, because of today's modern day society, it's like people are afraid to show, people are afraid to show everything in the beginning and be upfront with the efforts of their intentions of what they want, because they don't want to show out. Like I don't want to let her know that like I'm interested. It's just like this game everybody's playing. This is what I see nowadays, especially on the first date. Like, what are you guys' observations of what do you guys see when you guys meet people, when you meet guys for the first time, or especially on the first date? Like, are guys being really honest or open? Are they putting in effort? Like, what's your experience?
Yeah, I think for me, it says a lot. I wouldn't expect anyone to like open the door for me or escort me to my car. Or maybe I would, because it kind of gets dangerous if you're a single woman. Yeah. But it's really nice if they go that extra mile. Then I'll remember who you are. I'll remember your first, last name. Yeah. But I never expect it, and I try to do the same. Sometimes I'll open the door because that's the nice thing to do.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? One last thing before we go to ask you guys questions. Have you guys ever gone on a date and you realized this date was over based on was it you've met somebody that had a deal breaker? Was there like a sign that are there certain things that you guys do to kind of give guys a hint? This is not working out, but guys don't don't catch on. I'm just interested to hear that. Anybody has your thoughts on that? Go ahead, Anna.
Me?
Yeah.
But if I know that a guy like wants to kiss on the first date, I'll wear a hat. Like I will put on a hat because it like blocks from getting to my face. And like you'll know when a girl doesn't want to be with you, like in the car, if she's like all the way to the window and like if she has like her hands on the side away from him and like not sitting like towards him. Body language says a lot.
Okay, like, body language.
Yes, that's a huge thing.
Okay, what are you guys thoughts on that, Tarah? Regarding body language, is that true?
Am I oblivious to that? Maybe I'm not. I think I'm like that on all first dates. Maybe my legs, I'm almost out the window and I'm just trying to escape the situation. But I have to, I'm very anxious usually. So I have to push through getting out the door for myself. Once I'm in, like I'm outside, then it's all over and I have to go through with it. I have to do it. And yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. That's a great point, body language. But I think it's more so reading the body language of me. I'm not really worried about them.
What about you, Nunia?
I definitely agree on the body language one. If you're sitting in a car and you're just like closer towards the door area, and for me personally, like if the date is already over, like I already know it's just over before we even started, I'm like looking outside the window a lot of the time, just watching the street lights, and I'm like, where are we going? And then a lot of the times, if I know it's over but I'm just being nice, I would actually suggest the place to go closer to my house, actually. So it's an easy done, then take me back. Yeah.
Oh man.
And if I know that the date is over, that I don't want to go on a second date for sure, then I actually offer to pay, because I know for a fact that that's just, I'm done. Like we're just gonna be friends, and this we could just be friends. That's it.
Okay.
So,
all right, so you
if I ever pay for someone's meal, it's you just got friend zone.
That's a good sign for everybody out there who's watching.
Yeah.
If the woman wants to pay, then that's a sign right there.
No strings attached.
Or she looks out the window. No, I believe what Anna said, like body language. You can definitely read if somebody's vibing with you, based on how they're reacting. And if they're if you can just tell the body language is not there, they're not moving, they're not. I think there's a term in sales, they call it mirroring. If they're not mirroring your energy and vibe, and the way you move it, the way you guys are holding a conversation, and that's a clear sign. But I know a lot of guys, when it comes to social skills, are not as in par as you guys. You guys are very social etiquette, very good in the social skills. But for guys, we just can't tell the sign unless you tell us it's over, or you don't text us at all.